Welcome to the DNU show, and I'm thrilled to have with us newly appointed Consul General of Jamaica, Lloyd Wilks. And welcome to the show, and welcome back again to Canada.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here.
Lloyd, let's talk a little bit about you.
Sure.
Did you always want to be in politics?
Well,
Or in this position?
in this position, yes. I'm part of a very strong foreign service for the Jamaican government, and it has always been my ambition to become a head of mission, Consul General, later on to become ambassador for Jamaica. It's been a childhood dream, and I suppose I'm living part of it.
A childhood dream. At what age did you want to say, I want to represent and be ambassador for my country in a different country?
Perhaps as early as 11, 12.
Are you serious?
Yes, yes. I always, used to hear people talk about ambassadors who represent their countries and emissaries who going back to the Roman days and so on. And it's always been so interesting. And so I used to watch a lot of those movies and became intrigued at a very early age how, emissaries interface between one government and another and conduct their political relations and economic relations as well. And so I felt that I could do that. That's interesting. I could really effect change in a dramatic way.
That's interesting. Did you come from a line of family members who were into politics that you found that this intrigued you so much? You were just something, because that's not normal for 11-year-old.
No.
I mean,
I didn't, actually.
Growing up in Trinidad, I know 11 years old, I wasn't thinking about that. I still don't even think about it. But for 11-year-old to think like that, and that would be really a very mature 11-year-old.
Yes, indeed. And I used to be exposed to quite a bit of things, politics that happened in the Caribbean. The Caribbean community was and still remains very interesting politically, economically, and socially. And so there were lots happening during the time I was growing up, certainly, in Trinidad, in Guyana, in Grenada, in Jamaica, in Cuba. Very interesting political developments and economic challenges. We had people, authors that wrote tremendous books. We had political leaders like Michael Manley and so on. And, before Michael Manley, we had Marcus Garvey and people who were making dramatic impacts on the world. Jamaica was a very serious player on the international stage, and you could always hear Jamaica involved in one type of discourse or the other. And as I said before, these leaders were exemplary. And you couldn't miss it, really, if you had parents who were themselves interested in those types of developments, and my parents were.
Oh, nice. Have you ever been appointed before as Consul General? I know you were Vice Consul.
No, this is my first Consul General's post, and I'm quite looking forward to the journey.
Well, you had a great successor,
Indeed.
Ramokan, as
Indeed.
well, and we had him on the show before, and
Yes.
he's an amazing man, and his vision,
Yes.
his vision and the journey, it's truly amazing. And I just got to know him just before a couple of months before he left.
Right.
So it was unfortunate. We were looking at doing some things together, how we can help you, and your country and,
Yes.
your tourism board can expose more Jamaica.
Yes.
Because as every island in the Caribbean, that's one of the things that they have a challenge with.
Absolutely. And in fact, George represents one in a long line of distinguished consuls generals that we have had. And we've benefited tremendously over the years from their work. And so I have come now to face a challenge of adding value to that. I'm hoping very much to do so. I am pleased, in fact, that I'm able to benefit from this very interview and to connect with our various community members. We have a large community, as you know.
Well, let's hit a number again.
It's perhaps well near 300,000. Statistics Canada tells me that we're over 256,000 Jamaicans, 129,000 of which came from Jamaica itself. Second and third generation making up the balance. And as you know, they've been making tremendous strides here in Canada. And we have numerous Jamaicans who have excelled and who are well placed in the Canadian society, both in economic terms and political terms. And of course, there are many social work workers who have joined and continue to contribute meaningfully to the social fabric. So I'm actually very proud of the work that they've done.
Absolutely. And one of the things I want to say is they have unity. I mean, they have their
Yes.
own building, for goodness sake, their own
Indeed.
property here as well. They get involved in a lot of different
Absolutely.
events. But there has been, unlike some of the other islands, you have the benefit, you have your food, you have your music. We can't have a conversation without mention Bob Marley, who has done tremendous for,
Yes.
in reggae and so forth, which has helped.
Indeed. But let me
Helped
say
as
that
well.
our people are indeed our best assets. Our human resource remains Jamaica's best assets, and I continue to be.
And they're very proud of it. They're
Indeed,
very proud
indeed.
Jamaicans, you can tell
Indeed.
them.
But I continue to be amazed all the time by the levels that Jamaicans continue to reach and strive for, and in fact how much they've overcome obstacles. When I came here in January, having been here before, I was still challenged by the enormous conditions that the weather imposed. But it demonstrates the Canadian spirit to some extent as well, because people from all different backgrounds in the Caribbean and indeed other countries have come here and have had to face this impediment and have overcome it. In the Caribbean and Jamaica, we're accustomed to dealing with hurricanes every season. We have a tremendous hurricane to look forward to. And people have been resilient, and so that resilience has played out here in how people have acquitted themselves and indeed how they've moved forward. And we have challenges. It's not easy to reach 260,000 Jamaicans. It's not always easy for us to create the type of networks we want. It's not easy to overcome the challenges that our youth have. I'd love to see us being able to encourage the development of systems and funds which can be made available to assist in the greater assimilation of our youth and our young immigrants. I'd love to see, for example, the system being encouraged to provide a lot of these services, because you want your people to become the best citizens they can be and to contribute, to continue to contribute meaningfully to the Canadian society. And in fact, when they do, it benefits Jamaica in the long run.
Absolutely. The numbers that Stats Canada gave you, of course, it's more than that, possibly as well.
Indeed, indeed.
And
For various reasons.
for various reasons.
Yes.
Just because you see most people moving on to Jamaica, you just can't. But the other side, fun and joke aside, the fact that there's so much out there that you all can, the resources that you have that can help them, you want to urge them to come out and register to let your office know as well. And your office is always open, obviously.
Oh yes, and one of the things, in fact, that we're strongly urging is that Jamaicans who are here who have not yet taken up citizenship to go and do so. Do so immediately.
You have dual citizenship too as well
Yes, we
in
do
Jamaica,
in
like we
Jamaica,
do in Trinidad, yes.
Indeed. And so we urge Jamaicans to take up Canadian citizenship and do so immediately. Not just take the citizenship.
What's the reason behind that? Just
Well,
with my
if you live in a country, you need to participate in the life of that country. And as a citizen, it enables you to do so better.
That's
You
correct.
can vote at every level. And we should be asking more of our politicians, demanding those services, of course, and those facilities which are in the interest of your own communities. And so you do so much better if you have a vote, and indeed, if you are known to cast your vote. And so I'm sure you understand that politicians respond to those things well.
Absolutely.
And so Jamaica, with a large community, can only benefit, I think, from being able to leverage the strength of their numbers. And so I'm encouraging all Jamaicans, in fact, all immigrant people, to register to vote, to get involved with the councillors, with the members of the provincial parliament at the federal level as well. And so we can consult, get into the conversation, bring more of our nationals into the game. The more of our nationals that we find outside of the game is a weaker the team. So if we want to strengthen our team, we really need to bring those men who feel marginalized in the game, those children who are in care back into the system, where they can be embraced by parents and by the community, get meaningful contributions from our people. And I think that can be done, if we cooperate more, if we get involved in the life of the community, the life of the country, and cast our votes.
Well, apart from that too, apart from casting their votes, they also have the opportunity to have different types of government jobs because you have to be a citizen also. So, I mean, there's nothing holding them back but themselves. There is a process obviously to become a citizen, but again, you have the opportunity to further your education and be part of it. And I understand you don't want them to forget who they are, where they came from.
Not at all.
But embrace where they are for the now and move forward.
And most Jamaicans do, I'm pleased to say. But those that have not yet taken that decision, I'm urging, and encouraging them to do so. And really let us live like citizens of the country where we are, and contribute to it. The government wants to engage with the citizens as well as part of our citizens diplomacy. So in as much as we engage with the state at the international level, we want to also engage with the citizens of Jamaica that are here. And with that engagement, it broadens our borders, and it also influences the relationship we have with Canada, because evidently, if part of the citizens we share, if we can intensify the relationship there and create synergies and complementarities where they exist, I'm sure the benefits of that is obvious to see. Trade can be improved, and so much more.
Absolutely. Synergy. You mentioned the word synergy there, and I'm eager to talk about that.
Sure.
Simply because we're putting together a group which will be working with the Consul Generals.
Yes.
Because I look at it holistically, we have our own countries we come from, but we're fortunate to be part of a larger group, which is the Caribbean.
Yes.
But one of the things and the challenges that I see, this is just my opinion, I know, we have this tendency, and I'm not picking anybody in particular, and there's some, trust me, but we tend to say we are this one, or we are this one, or we are this one, and we sort of separate ourselves from the rest to a certain degree. But really and truly, we want to come together and represent the Caribbean. Do you believe that's something that's missing out there that should be done or work towards, of being a unity, saying this is a Caribbean? I mean, I could say I'm from Trinidad, you're from Jamaica, the next person from Barbados, and so forth. But again, what we're doing on the shows is bringing the Caribbean together because we're part of a bigger group.
Indeed. Can I start by saying that we have a very interesting Caribbean Consular Corps, which is headed by the Consul General of Trinidad and Tobago, who is very, very...
Who was your successor was the dean at the time.
Yes. And, Mrs. Maharaj is very, very busy.
She is, I know. She's my Consul General.
Yes, she's very busy, and she contributes quite a lot. She gives of herself enormously. And she's been quite instructive in fact, creating a cricket match, which happens every year. And we're looking forward to this one. And that in itself is a unifying force, as you know, sports in the Caribbean. It's probably one of the largest institutions we can point to, apart from the University of the West Indies, that has been successful. And so sport here, I think, can have the same effect in forging links and intensifying our collaboration. So that has been growing. We meet the Caribbean Consular Corps, that is, frequently, and we discuss things that are of relevance to all of us. As you know, the CARICOM Treaty and the CSME and so on is very much alive. We encourage our citizens to go back to Jamaica or to other Caribbean territories, Trinidad, Barbados, and so on, and to take advantage of these provisions for economics and other type of social interaction. The Caribbean is growing, and dynamic things are happening. And in fact, because of things like the CSME, it allows persons who were born in the Caribbean to leave here, for example, set up in one country, and end up with an entire region within which you can market your products.
Absolutely. I'm talking about the trade, because I was going to say as well, a lot of what we're doing too is exposing that.
Yes.
in terms of people want to go back and invest, whether they're from the Caribbean or not, but other
Yes.
people on the inside and the outside. And of course, there's some restrictions and policies. But at the end of the day, we tend to forget that it's a rich area
It's amazing.
that you can go back and
It's
investing.
amazing.
Invest, and they're
It's
looking for
amazing.
that. They're
In
looking
fact,
for that.
in fact, I can tell you that today we have companies registered in Barbados doing business in Jamaica, companies in Jamaica doing business in Trinidad and in
Yes.
Barbados and in Antigua and elsewhere. But Stewart just, in fact, opened another hotel in Barbados. Before that, he had been in other territories, including Antigua. And so business, we've been cross-fertilizing as well, and business in the Caribbean is growing. And so our nationals abroad can, in fact, take advantage of what those provisions offer. You can manufacture in one territory and trade your goods throughout the region without paying any additional duties. And there are enormous provisions. I encourage Caribbean nationals here and others to begin to look seriously at the Caribbean. In fact, you do not need to be a Caribbean national to benefit from those provisions.
That's right.
So I
And
really
this is-
encourage it.
Absolutely, and this is one of the things we want to put out there, is saying you got to, there's opportunities to explore it more and more.
In fact, I can tell you, one of the reasons why we are encouraging the development of a database of Jamaican nationals, which we call MAP, the Mapping Jamaica
That's correct.
project. And if I may say what the
Yeah, go ahead.
website is, it's www.mapjadiaspora.iom.int. And if I repeat that, it's www.mapjadiaspora.iom.int. Now that's a website, that's a database. You go onto that website, get to the survey that applies to you, take the survey. I encourage it because government can use it to find nationals that have certain specific interests, especially now that we're developing
It's a
the
source-
logistics hub.
It's a resourceful, it helps
Extremely.
you
And
help
the
them.
individuals too, yes.
Yes. If you don't speak on and say, okay, this is what I need, or this is what I want, but it's more of a need, or who I am, or what I can do, no one
Yes.
can help you unless you speak out.
It's a wonderful tool because you actually may be interested in something in particular. You can write to government and say so. We can tap into the database, find where those interests may lie amongst Jamaicans, and respond to you. Or government may be looking for an architect, we're looking for a plumber, and we go into the database, find out what plumbers there are, send out an invitation to tender. People can apply for that particular post or position. It's amazing.
Don't
And
leave yourself out what the possibilities can be, because somebody else can,
Exactly.
You can qualify it.
It's
just
interesting
you
you should say that because it actually is asking you to give yourself that first shot.
Yes.
We're offering Jamaicans really an opportunity to participate in these activities. You're being informed, and you're being informed early simply because you're part of a database that allows us to do that. So whilst we publish it to the rest of the world, as indeed we have to, Jamaicans also have more than a fair chance of getting in there, and might I say on the back of that too, we're doing a conference, which is the 6th biennial diaspora conference in Jamaica between June 13th and 18th, which is another amazing opportunity for Jamaicans and government to get together looking at investments, looking at trade, looking at philanthropy, looking at how the church, in fact, can help in diaspora development, which is another entity that we are trying to encourage because it's the only place that Jamaicans meet regularly. So we're trying to encourage involvement of the church, indeed, in a lot of what we're doing in trying to reach Jamaicans. Whilst we talk a lot about the Caribbean, and we have to, I am happy that I've been able to focus a lot on, Jamaica in particular too, because, as you know, that's my job.
Well, you may or may not have heard that with a collaboration with Dr. Jamie Dookie, who you may or may not have met yet, but
Right,
you will.
Yes, indeed.
Because
I'm
we will
looking
be
forward to that.
addressing the core as well fairly soon
Excellent.
in regards to the Canadian Caribbean Chamber of Commerce, which
Excellent.
myself is going to be part of that.
That's wonderful.
And the reason for that being is exactly what you're saying, and what I mentioned before is collaborate and how we can help the Caribbean community through the Consul Generals to expose, whether the tourism, their
Yes.
foods, the export, the imports, or whatever it is it can be. Because we believe too as well, you need our help, just like we need your help.
Absolutely.
And this is what we're
Absolutely.
forming. And like I said, we will be addressing your core very soon.
Yes.
Actually, I believe this month it is, to talk about that collaboration as well. And we do have a website up too. But the thing about it is, we want to work with you because I believe we have to go from the top to go down. And you all have a presence in your community and a voice.
Yes.
We also want to know how we can help you sort of seek out these talented people and those who are willing and wanting more, but you just don't know what to do. So how do we fit into that is the question, how we can help.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job right here. And being able to speak to your audience is an amazing first step. In fact, not first step, it's an amazing step in the chain of events that you've actually initiated. So we're pleased, and I'm sure the Consular Corps from the Caribbean will be looking on this show and thinking, wow, what an amazing initiative. We need to move further. We need to take this now further and continue to feed our audience and to bring our stakeholders on board and to make the most of this. The Caribbean continues to be a premier location for tourism, yes, but for manufacturing, for trade. Yes, we have small numbers, but we have amazing products. We need to find appropriate niches to place those products. And so the Grenadian nutmeg, the Jamaican coffee, and Trinidad produces amazing products, including oil that everybody knows about.
Okay, I'm going to add there, dashing bush, for Kalu.
Dashing bush.
Yes.
Do you know it's amazing, but do you know you have Angostura bitters,
Yes.
which still remains a secret. I
Yes.
really want to get that
Yes,
formula.
absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yes.
And so our products
it's popular,
it
but they
is.
still don't know the secret
I
behind
know.
it.
I benefited from that thing.
Yes.
Yes. But our
But that's
products,
what you use with the bitters and so
Yes,
forth with when
yes.
you're not feeling well with the ginger
That's
ale.
right.
And it does, and orange juice, it does help you with your stomach.
goes
It's
really well at
amazing.
Jamaican ginger.
Yes, I know the ginger.
Our
We
products are amazing.
I want to add a component to that piece.
Yes.
We have been fortunate to collaborate with a smaller school. And when I say small, it's not like the big universities here,
Yes.
but a very quaint college.
Yes.
And it's called Max de Math.
Okay.
Max de Math is animation, design, art, and paint
Wow.
school. It's like a little hidden secret,
Here.
which is right here in Scarborough on the Danforth. Just moved to the Danforth.
Amazing.
And I will be my honor to connect with you. And the reason I'm saying this is because a couple folds. One of the things, how it started was Maxine. She had was taken on to Trinidad to open this because she now wants, this was a couple of years, like in 1996, I
Yes.
believe it was. And to have the schools set up there,
Yes.
because there's so much talent out there with the
Indeed.
carnivals
Indeed.
and all of that. And that's something, how we can collaborate and maybe open up a school and bring the talent there as well. But the sad part I have to say is there is a scholarship for newcomers,
Right.
okay? That's a full scholarship, it's renewable, and yet there isn't one applicant for
Really?
it. I'm not kidding you.
Let me put that to Jamaica. Can I tell you this?
Absolutely.
In Jamaica today, there are various communities, inner city communities, which have been targeted in terms of trying to unearth the creative talent
Yes.
which actually exists there in collaboration with the University of the West Indies. We've had international funding. Now, the beauty of it is that you do not require huge investment. You don't require a university degree. You simply need to be creative. Have an imagination and have systems that can allow you to bring it.
But the Caribbean people are very creative,
Yes.
highly, highly
Yes,
creative.
indeed. but the end product is very valuable.
It is
So-
very
so
valuable.
have you- as
And they're
you've-
very proud of what they
Indeed.
pick out. Yeah.
And so that's happening in Jamaica now. And so I'd love to see, for example, us being able in the Caribbean to export that talent, which is exactly where we're going. So if we can begin to provide facilities and resources to encourage the development of it, the growth of it, and the trade in it, it's a service which I think will serve us enormously.
Well, the other side to that coin is instead of someone have to come all the way down here to Canada to be part of that, and they're very, how should I say, in terms of, it's like a home school, like it's home.
But it's all high tech now. You
It's
know,
all
everything is in
high-tech.
cyberspace. So you simply put it there, somebody else reach and get it, and you have a trade arrangement that facilitates it. It is fantastic.
But one of the things is, we're looking to see how we can work with Maxine to have
Yes.
at least have a location,
Yes.
a school set up in the Caribbean somewhere
That would
where
be
it'll be
wonderful.
easier for the Caribbean just to hop,
Indeed.
skip, and a jump as opposed to coming up here, which is so can be. Like I said, but there's
Yes.
scholarship, there are many scholarships. They also just apply for OSAP.
I think we need to look into that because
Definitely,
I'm positive
definitely.
that there are people in the Caribbean who would love to benefit from scholarships of that nature. If you can send that to me.
Oh,
I'd
I
love
would
to
do a
forward
personal
it to
introduction
Jamaica.
for you,
Yes, that's
definitely. So,
wonderful.
she's
Good
one of
news.
our partners that is working with us, and some of the students. And the really nice part of it is
Yes.
almost 100% of her students are usually hired in the industry,
Wow.
in the animation, which is a huge field. So there's so much collaboration. So I
Indeed.
know there's so much we can talk about here,
Indeed.
Lloyd, as well. But again, at the end of the day, we want to know how we can work with you to help you achieve in your mandate what it is you need to talk, what you're here for, for every year you have a different theme. What's your theme this year?
This year for our conference, I'd have to consult to tell you, but our conference continues to look at connecting and linking Jamaica and its diaspora for development. That's
But
continued
what's
to
your
be.
personal mission? What's
My
yours?
personal mission is to deepen our engagement with our Jamaican people and to broaden the involvement of more and more Jamaicans in the development of Jamaica on the one hand, but also in the development of the diaspora, meaning in the communities where Jamaicans live, so that their dreams can be enhanced and they can become better contributors to both Jamaica on the one hand and Canada on the other. We also obviously want to enhance our abilities to take care of the welfare of Jamaicans who live here, provide them with services that are adequate and fits purpose. Obviously, we also serve the broader public, and we want to be able to do that well. We want to be able to seamlessly interface with our younger generation and to get them also involved, to make heritage something that younger generation people can actually participate in, to make our culture be accessible to them, to streamline how it is that our arts and our culture can continue to be things which influence the propagation of the Jamaican in you, because there's a Jamaican in you.
It's a Jamaican, like I said, I'm Caribbean. The other side of that, one of the things we're looking at, and we'll need your help with this, is how we can expose, with True Network Video Productions,
Yes.
what we can do to showcase your country there, over here, to the diaspora. To bring it aware.
Absolutely.
So, that's something we're looking at. Give us the content so we can help you, because a lot of people are hungry and they want to go back and they can't afford to really go back that much.
And you can participate in our upcoming conference as well.
Yes.
The 6th Diaspora Biennial Conference, which is between the 13th of June and the 18th in Jamaica this year. It happens every 2 years, and so it's taking place in Jamaica in Montego Bay, at the Montego Bay Convention Center. So I'd love to be able to get you involved.
We absolutely will talk. And one of the things I just want to quickly mention before I run out of time is, we have the Pan Am Parapan Games coming up. So
Yes,
you
yes.
have some of the,
Yes.
your country for sports. You've got a lot of leaders in the sports
We
there.
do indeed.
So I know you will be part of that. You'll be cheering them
Yes,
on and
yes.
everyone else. I just wanted to touch on that. How can we get in touch with you at your Consul General office?
You can do so through my telephone numbers, which is 416-598-3008 or 416-598-2064. Those numbers, you reach me, one directly and the other one through our switchboard. So it's fairly easy.
I want to thank you so much, and there's so much we have to discuss
I
as
know.
well. You know, again, we'll come back on and we can
Yes.
discuss more as we go further how we can work with that. And I do look forward to seeing you at your core meeting as
Indeed.
well.
And thank you very much for having me. And thank you very much for the offer that your media can provide an avenue where the diaspora can in fact be informed and be connected to a lot of what we're doing. It's an amazing offer, and believe me, I'll take you up on it.
Well, I look forward to it, Charlotte. But again, we want this to be a model for all the, everyone out there, regardless of what
Yes.
diaspora you're from, whether Caribbean, European,
Yes.
Chinese, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yes.
Again, we're not different than anyone else. It's just we have to
Indeed.
be open-minded, and if some can do it, why the rest can't?
True.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again.
It's been absolutely my pleasure. Thank
I
you.
want to thank so much the Consul General, Lloyd Wilks of Jamaica. I mean, we have so much to do, and just the fact that, connecting with Max the Mutt, just possibly having one of the colleges or schools there in Jamaica I'm so thrilled to do that introduction, only because, again, the talent that we have international, worldwide is not, and the fact that we have so many talented students who could possibly get the scholarship. And, the Consul General Wilks is so, I know he's happy now, I can see it in his face. But again, it's one of these things that we're here to work together
Indeed.
and how we can help each other and help Jamaica or Canada or Trinidad or whichever one of the other Caribbean island, but holistically we talk about the Caribbean. So there's a lot of work to do, there's so much more, and of course we definitely will have him back on again to talk more about the progress and the community. So until next time, Nadine and your show, peace.
Hi, good day. My name is Shane Supol with Avanti Financial Services. Over the course of the next few weeks, we'll be spending a minute explaining different aspects of your mortgage to you, as well as reasons why you should take a closer look at your mortgage when it comes up for renewal. There are other things we will be discussing in these mortgage minutes, topics such as things to consider before you renew your mortgage. Should you have a line of credit attached to your mortgage? Should you consolidate your debts into your mortgage? These are just a few of the items we will be discussing over the course of the next few weeks in our mortgage minutes. My name is Shane Supol, and I can be contacted at 416-407-8403 or 1-866-839-4449, or on the web at www.avanti-financial.com.